Hey there, Safi Russell, SDR Consulting Inc. Hope all is well with you. Wanted to come to you today with a checklist for getting your business started or private practice up and running. And one of the first things I was going to recommend is being prepared to invest on the front end as opposed to trying to clean up on the back end because it's usually always more cost effective to get things in place, get the proper foundation set up front. All right. One of the first recommendations I would make is to consult with an attorney and a CPA or a tax and accounting professional, preferably ones that have experience with your industry. This way, you can do a proper analysis on the legal side and the tax side on the proper entity structure for you to set up or if you need to set up one at all, right? Every business is different. So you want to definitely get that expertise from both sides. Then move into actually setting up the entity. So whether it's an LLC, a corporation, if you need to make an S election now or later, what states should you be registered in, et cetera. Once that is in place, then you can obtain your tax ID or EIN number. Now, one thing I want to mention as far as the entity setup, depending on the line of business you're going into, it could take a couple days, couple weeks, or a couple of months to get that entity established. For example, here in New York, if you are a social worker looking to open up your own practice, it's right now like a 4 to 6 month process because you have to go through an approval with the Office of Professions. So those are things to keep in mind when planning out starting your business. And you don't want to get that EIN tax ID until that approval is complete and the entity is actually established. So please wait for the EIN until after you've established your company. I see some people go and do that first. Next thing is looking into applicable assurances. So whether you need professional liability insurance, malpractice insurance, general liability, workers' comp is all going to be dependent on your business model, but those are important to have in place ahead of time. Then I would suggest getting into setting up your business bank account and bookkeeping system. Now, depending on your line of business, you may have income coming in from a specific source, maybe insurance companies, maybe your EHR system, maybe your Square system if you have a general business, but you don't have one place that has everything. So you want to have all your different income sources combined in one location. You want to have all the different expenses that you're outlaying in one location so that you can see what your bottom line is. And that'll help determine what your taxes are going to look like. If you're spending too much money in certain areas, how much do you pay yourself? Can you afford to hire staff? All those decisions should be made based on the business itself and if it's doing well financially, but also, the workflow and the model itself. So once you have that in place, that's really like the business side of your business or practice. Now it's actually the practice management or the workflow, right? So your EHR, making sure you have your HIPAA in place, any other compliance that may apply for your business, your communication tools, appointment booking, website, marketing. That's where you kind of get into setting that proper foundation. When you just jump in and start doing things haphazardly, it actually ends up causing more stress and usually costs more money in the end. All right. So those are my tips on your business startup checklist. For more tips on business startup, definitely check out my online course on sdr.teachable.com for my business startup basics, which goes into a little bit more depth about entity analysis from the tax and accounting side, a little bit about bookkeeping and deductions and tax write-off and how that works, and a little bit about tax planning. And if you need assistance, feel free to reach out and connect. Thank you. Bye-bye.